Right. Good afternoon to all of you. Very good afternoon. Can you hear me? Is my voice is clear? Right. So let me start our session for today. Let me recap what topic we have discussed in the last session. Like how data transmission from one device to another device. What is the backend process happening? So here I have one example. The example is two devices, device A and device B, computer A and computer B. Right? Like how data transmission is happening. Let me once again let me discuss clearly now. If maybe two devices in the same location or different location, I mean to say, can be a LAN or it can be a WAN. So two devices in a limited area, like a within a room or within a floor or within a building or within a campus. So how data transmission happening? If the two devices in different locations, geographically different locations, like one is in India, one is in US, like how the data transmission is happening? Can be LAN and WAN. So here, first computer. Yes, PC A want to send the data to PC B. Repeat once again. PC A want to send some data to PC B. Data can be any data. Your images, audios, videos, mails, any it can be any data. So here PC A want to send the data to PC B means which one is a source and which one is a destination means PC A is a source device and PC B is a destination device. So here try to understand which device is source and which one is a destination. If we don't know which device is source and which is a destination, like to understand the networking and networking concepts is very important actually. So what is a source device means? From where the request is being generating, where traffic is initiating, the device we call what? Source device. For example, from my smartphone, from my mobile phone, I want to open Facebook page, Facebook server. So now you tell me guys, which is a source and which is a destination? Let me repeat my question once again. My mobile, from my mobile, I want to open Facebook server page. So my mobile is what? Source device. Facebook server is a destination device, right? It doesn't mean what from my mobile phone, traffic is started, traffic is generated, data is generated, right? So what inside the data, what inside the information, let me clearly discuss it now. Similarly, some from source side, here data traffic is started, right? Like how data traffic is being generating. This data packet to send to destination device. How data is being delivered? What is the mechanism? Is completely data delivery is happening through TCP IP, not the OSI. I repeated multiple times, so don't get confused. Data transmission is only the possible protocol is what? TCP IP. Like how TCP IP is working. So how TCP IP is functioning to understand in 1984, ISO organization is being developed one international standard reference model is what? OSI. So OSI is only for reference model. Only one model. It's not a protocol actually, right? But data communication happen through which protocol is what? TCP/IP. So how TCP is functioning is, so to understand we have one reference model is what guys? OSI, Open System Interconnect, is developed by ISO organization. In which year? 1984. So this OSI is telling is your data is going to transmit it in the 7 layers. Like the top layer is a application, presentation, session, transport, network, data link, and a physical layer, right? The numbering wise, layer 7 application, layer 6, layer 5, layer 4, layer 3 is a network layer, layer 2 is a data link layer, layer 1 is what? Physical layer. From host A. Now from host A is a source, right? From host device, data is being generated. So this data can be any data. So to send the data, so first we required what? Web browser or any apps, application. So here application layer will come in the picture. Like application is a interface for the users to interact with services. But each and every service, it can be web service or it can be mail service, it can be downloads or uploads, or it can be remote login, can be any service are being identified by using numbers called port numbers. So inside my data, the service is I'm trying to transfer the data or download the data, FTP service. But how my machine can understand based upon what, guys? 21, port number 21. Maybe I'm using here is I'm sending some mail. I'm sending some mail. What my PC can understand, okay, mail service is port number 25. What is the service? SMTP. So services based upon the port numbers are being identified. Now, what about DNS port number, guys? DNS port number. Come on, Pradeep. Around 53, good. DHCP is a 67, right? DHCP 67 and 68 both. One for server, one for client. DHCP server, DHCP. Telnet port number. Telnet. Telnet service port number 23. Okay. HTTPS. HTTPS port number 443. Good. Right. Service are being identified by based upon what? Port numbers. Now data is being transmitted to next layer is what, guys? Presentation layer. The presentation layer is a providing standard format to your data like encoding, decoding, encryption, decryption, compression and decompression. Encoding means converting your original files to standard format like a text files to .txt, image files to .jpg, like music files to .mp3, video files to mp4. Like converting original files to standard formats. .jpg, .mp3, .mp4 is all standard format. Now when is receiving the destination, again decoding standard format to original format, original file. This is a responsibility of presentation layer. Not only encoding and decoding, like if you are typing your usernames and passcodes, like your data is being converted to a ciphertext, normal text to ciphertext, so which we call encryption. Encryption, decryption is done in the presentation layer. Next, between the source device and destination device, session layer is going to establish the sessions, maintain the sessions, and terminating sessions. The top three layers we call software based, application based. Now, transport layer is a core layer of OSI. It has a major responsibilities. So can you define? Can you tell me? Can you text me, guys? What are the responsibility of transport layer? At least can you tell me a few responsibilities of transport layer? Text me for what transport layer exactly will do? Flow control, segmentation, not segmentation. Error, not detection. Error correction, Rakesh. Not error detection. Error correction. Error detection by data link layer, error correction by transport layer. Right. The transport layer, the major responsibilities is a identifying service. The transport layer is going to identify this data packages belongs to TCP or UDP service. It comes under TCP or it comes under what? UDP. So now you tell me, guys, what is the difference between TCP and UDP? TCP UDP services, what is the difference? TCP is a connection oriented. UDP is what? Connectionless. TCP communication is reliable. UDP communication is what? Unreliable. what is meant by connection oriented and connectionless? So connection oriented means supports for acknowledgement, like TCP can support for three-way handshake process, right? In TCP three-way handshake process, what is the first message? Synchronize. Okay, good. Second message, second packet. Connect. Synchronize acknowledgement, right? And third packet, acknowledgement. Like once three-way handshake process has been done, now between the source device and the destination device, a connection is what? Established. So once connection is established, then if it transmits the data, there is no chance for data loss. We call it as a reliable communication. Not only identifying surveys, so what transport layer is doing is we have the multiple services are available, is going to combining and transmitted through only one channel called multiplexing. So once your multiple services, multiple signals will reach the internet, again internet, like each signals, each services is being distributed to respected service called what? Multiplexing, muxing and demuxing. So first point is identifying service, multiplexing and demultiplexing. If your data is, example, if the data is a 5 MB file size, maybe your data is a like a 5 KB data, then what transport layer will do? Your data has been divided into each packet, each segment should be contained less than 1500 byte, because your network cards can support maximum transmission unit size what? 1500 bytes. So dividing a large amount of data into smaller segments, we call this what? This process we call what? Segmentation. Like after doing the segmentation, what transport layer will do? Directly will send the destination device? No. Like after doing the segmentation, is providing sequence numbers for each segment. Yes, exactly. Sequence numbers, right? So by seeing the sequence number, destination computer TCP/IP protocol, it can be reassembled properly. Then I can get exactly proper communication. So this process we call segmentation, sequencing, and reassembling, error corrections, and flow control. These are the responsibility of transport layer. After receiving transport layer, before sending data packet to network layer, before forwarding data packet to network layer, what transport is doing is adding some headers, additional information. So these headers we call what? Transport headers. Inside the transport headers, can you tell me guys what information is available in the transport headers? What information inside the transport header? What is exactly the adding? Transport header is okay adding, but what information? Source, source and destination. Okay, what? What information? Source and destination. Port numbers. Source port number, destination port number, TCP, UDP. What are the responsibilities of transport layer? Segmentation, sequencing. Is all the information should be contained what? Transport headers. So transport header and data both combinedly we call what? Segment. Perfect. Segment is being generated. Now segment is being forwarded to next layer is what? Network layer. So network layer is a layer 3, data link layer, physical layer. The bottom 3 layers we call hardware layers, or we can call as a network support layer. Generally in the network layer, which device will comes a network layer? Which device will comes under network layer is a router. Router will works with which address? The router can understand which address? It's IP address. It can be V4 or V6, right? Okay. Now network layer, actually we have a two protocols which we call routing protocol and one more is routed protocol, right? Routing and routed. Like what is the function of routing protocols? Like what exactly routing protocols will do? Perfect. Routing protocols will find the best path. Now, can you tell me please examples of routing protocols? Routing protocols example RIP, OSP, F. Very good. So the same question will be asked in interviews. So what is routing protocol? What are the examples of routing protocol? What routing protocols will do? This question. Right. Next point is a routed protocol. What routed protocol will do? Carry data packet, right? Data carriers. Examples of routed protocols are IP, IPX, AppleTalk is all are routed protocol examples. So if we go for interviews for a fresher or L1 or L2 or a experience, surely without OSI layers explanation, there is no interview for networking. So this process, so every interviewer can ask a question, must and should be asked question is, can you please explain me about the process of OSI layers, each layer, what each layer will do? At least in a single line, you need to explain clearly. Like how I'm explaining here, application layer is interface. User to interact with what services? Presentation layer provide standard format. Session layer maintain the sessions. Transport layer identifying a service. The transport layer TCP UDP comes under, right? Network layer we have two protocols, routing and routed, finding best routes, forwarding traffic to best routes, like this. Now, within the segment, what network layer is doing is adding network headers. Like what information inside the network header, guys? Inside the network header, what information? Right. Source IP address and destination IP address. Very perfect. So network header and segment both combinedly we call it is what? Let's see. Packet. Packet is being generated. So let me open my command prompt once. Let me discuss one point here. I'm pinging to internet. Is global DNS a dot 8 something. Let's say ping www.google.com. The last line here, send 4, received 4, right? Lost 0, 0% loss. Like what I sent 4 and what I received 4. What exactly I have sent 4 and what I have received 4. No data loss, okay. Data packet, right? So, see here is showing here packets. Send 4, received 4. So what we need to understand in this point means my laptop and Google server both are communicating. So from my computer and Google server in between, everything is line is what? Clear. Right? The thing is, what we have sent for, what we have received for means packets, right? So what is exactly inside the packet information? What we sent for, what we received for. You're telling the word is called what? Packet. What is the information inside the packet? Very good. See, this is the packet, right? Wait a minute. Is a packet, right? So this packet, let's consider PCA in Hyderabad location, PCB in something like in Delhi. Now from Hyderabad to Delhi, how the both pieces are connected? The both pieces are connected by a what? Internet, right? So PCA is connected to internet and PCB is connected to what? Internet. Okay, fine. Routers, switches, cables, whatever. But actually the main point is what? Both are connected through internet, right? So this packet is going via internet means in internet is a public network. In the public network, everyone is connected, right? Attackers, hackers. If anyone hacker is been captured your packet. So your traffic is going via internet. So what hacker is doing is he's been captured. So after capturing the packet, if you open the packet, if you break the packet, if attacker is being break, open the packet, what information hacker can see? If you open the packet, let me open the packet here. See, if I go back a little bit, if I open the packet, what information inside there? Network header along with segment is available. If you open the network header, what information they can able to see? Source IP address and destination IP address. Now in the middle, attacker can come to know. So from where your computer IP address and where to reach your destination IP address, they can be seen, right? Okay. Second thing is now if you open the segment, what information they can able to see? If you break the segment, they can come to know transport header and data. Like what information inside the transport header? If you open the transport header, they can come to know what is your source port number and what is your destination port number. Like what type of service you're using. You're using reliable service or unreliable service. You're using TCP or UDP. Like is all the information, sequence numbers, like the segmentation process, like all the information contains what? Transport header. Now, along with your data, if the attacker is being open the data, what happened? They can come to know your usernames and passwords and what is inside your bank balance in transactions. Everything can be monitored. So that's the reason when your traffic is going via internet, your packets should be secured. Your packet information should be encryption. Should be what? Secure. Like if you don't know how the packet is going to internet, so if you don't know how the packet is going to destination device, then how we can provide the proper security for your network? Even if we don't know how data, what type of method data is going to convert to segment to packet to frame, right? Frame to bits. This is the format your data is being delivered, right? Each and every layer we need to analyze clearly. Now after bits, what is your media using here? Finally, your data is being converted to what? 0 and 1. So before that, let me explain one thing here. The transport layer is adding transport headers. Network layer is adding network headers. Data link layer is adding data headers and data trailers, right? This all the layers is adding. This method we call, this process we call encapsulation. Encapsulation is a process of adding additional headers and trailers to the data for proper transportation. Your data has to properly transportation means headers are important. Headers are required. If headers are not adding, what transport network layer will do? I'm going to drop the traffic. I don't know anything of it. So by adding the headers, have the proper transportation, right? So adding headers, this process we call what? Data encapsulation. Okay, now bits are being formed. Means bits are zeros and ones. Now what type of media you are using between Hyderabad device to Delhi device? or within a LAN also or WAN also, whatever, what type of media means. So mostly we have three type of media, which is copper media and wireless media and optical fiber media. Three categories. Copper media means it can be RJ11, it can be RJ45 cables, a coaxial cable, like these are copper wires. Wireless media, it can be wireless media is a you have a Wi-Fi zone or a Bluetooth, like this actually, right? Infrared waves, radio frequencies, other wireless. Optical fiber cables are nearly have 18 types of optical fiber cables are available. So what type of media we are using, it depends upon your bits. Zeros and ones are converted to signal base. If it's a copper media, your complete data is being converted to electrical signals. So these electrical signals also can be captured by attackers. So attackers is going to hacking your details by using what? Electrical signals. So they are not capturing your exact data. They are capturing is what? Electrical signals. Then the electrical signals, you can open that, you can convert to bits, bits to frames and frames to packet, packet to data, they are going to convert. Maybe if you are using a wireless media, what attackers will do? They'll connect one radio frequencies. So they are going to they are going to cache your frequencies. And they can convert into normal data. If you are using a optical fiber cable, your data is being converted to what? Light pulse, light signals, wavelengths. That wavelength is being captured. They can convert to normal data. They can come to know your usernames and password. Okay, for destination computer, bits are being received. So bits again convert to what? Frame. Now data trailer, data headers are being removed. Packet sent to network layer. Network layer is received. Open the packet. Remove network header. Segment to transport. Remove the transport headers. Session layer. Presentation layer. To what? Application. Adding the headers. This process we call what? Data encapsulation. Removing headers. This process we call what? Decapsulation. So finally, PCA is sending data. PCB is also receiving what? Data. The backend process, your data is being converted to segment, packet, frame, bits, signals, again bits, packet, segment data, like this. These are happening in the backend. We are communicating, we are shorting, we are transmitting the data. So what happened in the backend means the procedure is going to behind the networking. Clear, guys? So the single statement, yesterday class and your continuation class, the single point we can say data transmission possible, the process is encapsulation and decapsulation methods. So in interviews, surely they can ask the question, can you please explain about what is the packet contain, IP packet contains? So can you please explain me about what is segment contains, what is frame contains, and what is transport header contains, what is network header contains, what is data trailers contains? So these should be asked in the technical questions, technical round. They can ask you. So we require the very enough knowledge to explain proper encapsulation method and decapsulation method. So remembering of OSI layer sequence order is very important. So top to bottom always need to tell what top to bottom. The first one is what application layer, presentation layer, session layer, transport, network, data link, and physical layer. How do you remember? So generally people will remember like this: APSTS, APSTNDP, right? How? I can remember. It's very simple methods. Don't remember like a APST, something like this. What is the main use of TCP/IP protocol? For what? Transfer data. Very good. All people seems to need data processing. This is the main purpose of TCP/IP, right? Protocol main purpose is what? Like in university, globally, everyone need what? Data processing. I can see application layer, APST, NDP, right? All people P seems to need data processing. The single statement can remove all the 7 layers. All people seems to need what? Data processing. Okay. So, do you have any more doubts regarding the yesterday topic, like which is OSI or TCP/IP is functioning? Any doubts, guys? Even end of the session, we have discussed about what? Yes, Mustafa, ports. What do you have the doubt on the ports? Port numbers. Say port numbers means not physical ports, is a logical port numbers. Is all the port numbers are reserved port numbers, fixed port numbers. I can say HTTP port number 80 is been reserved. Machine can understand 80 as a HTTP. Your device can understand 21 is a FTP. These are logical channels, port numbers. The best example, let's say example like FM stations, FM radio, 98.3. What channel I can get? What channel I can get? If you set the frequency in your radio station, if you set the frequency 98.3, so which FM you can get? Which station you can get? Radio Mirchi something, right? So means 98.3 is a channel, is a number for Radio Mirchi. Similarly, port number 80, a channel is a port number 80 for which service? HTTP service. Like if you use a port number 21, a service is what? FTP. So this service are being identified based upon what? Numbers. The logical channels. Port numbers we call is what? Port. Is it clear? Right. So yesterday in end of the session we have discussed about troubleshooting also, right? Layer 1, layer 2, layer 3 troubleshoot. Layer 1 is a physical layer, cables are involved. Layer 2 is what? Data link layer, switches, MAC table, MAC others are being involved. Layer 3 is what, guys? Layer 3 is a network layer, router, IP address. Today, our main topic is introduction to routers. Yeah, exactly. Not only FTP, still we have so a few more protocols is there for data transmission. FTP, TFTP, HTTP, HTTPS. So many protocols there, but the main protocol is FTP protocol. So today our main topic is what, guys? Introduction to routers. So before starting introduction to routers, as per your knowledge, based upon last sessions we have discussed, last whatever the sessions we have discussed, what is the knowledge of routers? Can you please tell me about routers? Any point? What is router? Very good. Layer 3 internet working device. Router are used for connection different networks for wired and wireless communication between two different networks, send and receive packets, communication between geolocations, different geolocations. Okay, right answers, right, smart answers. Okay, yesterday I have run one network diagram, right? Let me run once again. We'll have a explanation on that. Let me design that open here. One network on LAN, local network is in a Hyderabad location. One is in a Bangalore. Hyderabad office LAN I'm using here. I decided to use some classy address. Within the LAN means I have to use what? Private network. Is 192.168.1.0. This network I'm using. The Bangalore office I decided to use 192.168.2.0. So means 1.0 is a network ID. So I can't use 1.0 for my end user devices. So can I use 1.1? Yes, I can use, but 1.1 is I'm going to reserve for what? My gateway is my router, right? So let me use 192.168.1.2 or 1.3, 1.4. My example is 1.10. Second machine 1.20, like 1.30, 1.40. Even not only 10, 20, 30, you can use 10, 11, 12, 13 also. This is my example, right? So for Bangalore office, 192.168, 2.10, 2.20, 2.30, 2.40 Hamilton. So within internally, all pieces can communicate each other. Why? Because all are in what? Same network address. 1.10, 1.20, right? In the Bangalore office also, all devices can communicate each other. Why? Because all are in what? Same network address. So instead of calling same network address, can we use one terminology called all are in the same logical network address, right? So 1.0, 1.20, 1.30 is all are what? Logical IP address. Logical address we call what? IP address. So one address is a 1.0, one more is what? 2.0. Now we require which device to enable communication between two or more different logical networks. We required what? Router. Now here, and based upon this topology, how many routers are required? Two routers with one for Hyderabad office, one for what? Bangalore office, right? Let me keep one device here and one more for Bangalore router. Connect like this. And HYD router name called R1, Bangalore router name called R2. R1 and R2. R1, R2, how they are connected? So how they are connected means we have a separate class, a separate session for that. So R1, R2 now, one is in a Hyderabad location, one more is in a Bangalore location. So how they are connected means we have a lease line technology, VPN technology, and MPLS technology. Like we have a frame relay technology, broadband services. So number of technology we have. These all technology we call WAN technologies. So we have a separate session for WAN technologies. We'll discuss about it later. But as of now, so just consider R1, R2 router, both are connected to via what? Internet. Here guys, their connectivity is happening like this. The first point about router is what? So router enables communication between two or more different logical networks. Now router is connecting one network to another network. So means the first 4 points we have discussed, right? What is network and what is networking and what is internetwork? What is internetwork, guys? Interconnection of two or more different networks, right? So one network is another network interconnected by using which device? Router. So first point about router is an internetworking device. So this router will comes under which layer of the OSI? Say, so one more point we can call it is about router is enable communication between two or more different logical networks, and it is a network layer device which is layer 3 device. So I repeat once again, in interviews, interviewer they can ask the question very smartly. You know how? Do you have an idea about layer 3 devices? You'll answer like this. So sorry sir, I don't have any idea about layer 3, but I know router. So they don't ask about, tell me about router, tell me about switch. They can ask you like questions like, hey, tell me about layer 3 devices, where we use layer 3 devices, what is layer 3 devices, what is layer 2 devices, what is layer 3 address, and what is layer 2 address. Like these all are our network terminologies. So try to habituate with your network terminologies. So this network terminology will very helpful for your interviews, right? So still if you use router, switch like that, so interview can understand maybe you don't have a much knowledge on networking, you have only theory knowledge. But if you use sometimes a terminology called like layer 3 devices, layer 2 devices, layer 3 address, layer 2 addresses, then everyone can understand. Yes, you have a technical knowledge. Yes, you have a practical knowledge also. Okay. So from today onwards, we try to use terminological what? Layer 3 device. So what is the answer of this question? What is router? Router is a layer 3 device. It's enable communication between two or more different logical networks, and it's a inter-networking device, right? So actually, the word is came from root. Hence, it also called device what? Finds what? Best root. The router will find what? Best path selection. So out of is all the points. Point number 1, point number 2, point number 3, point number 4. So point number 5 is very important. Let me see clearly understand. Point number 5. Can you read all of you once? What is the point number 5 here? The IP of router is a default gateway for all devices in LAN. What does it mean by? Let me explain scenario clearly. Listen careful, all of you. It's very important topic now. See, scenario is a right. See here. No, what is scenario here? First computer in Hyderabad office. In Hyderabad office, first computer. So first PC is trying to communicate with last PC. Let me give the names or numbers also. PC1, PC2, PC3, and PC4. Now you tell me, guys. Yeah, I'll back to the slide also. Just wait for a minute. So first, let me explain the scenario clearly, and we'll go back to the slide also. In Hyderabad office, PC1 want to communicate with PC4. So now you tell me, guys, which one is the source and which one is the destination? PC1 is a source and PC4 is the destination, right? Okay, right. What is meant by source address? What is meant by source device? From which computer? From where traffic is being generating? From where traffic is starting? Sender. What is sending? What exactly sending? What is sending here? Data traffic, right? So we already clearly discussed what is the data packet contains. So data packet contains what? Like source IP address, destination IP address, source MAC address, destination MAC address, source port number, destination port number, along with your headers and writes. Is all information is being generating from 1.10 computer. Let me draw this. Now source IP is 192.168.1.10. Destination IP 192.168 1.40 along with your data packet, data traffic. This all information is being generated from which computer? Source PC, right? So what source PC is doing is, the first computer is doing is, before sending the data packet, your PC itself, your computer itself will check source IP, destination IP, both are in same network or different network. What PC will do? I repeat once again. So what your PC is doing is, before sending the data packet, your PC itself will check source IP, destination IP, both are in same network address or different network address. So now you tell me, guys, in this example, both are in same network address or different network address? Same network address, right? Now, what my PC is thinking is, okay, my destination is not in the outside, my destination is only within my LAN. Means it can be a within a room. So this 1.40 PC may be within a room or within a floor or within a building or within a campus. So this device can understand that. So what this device is doing is, so this device will send the traffic to which device is a? Only the switch. So this data packet will never come to the router, right? So send the switch, and what switch will do? Will send to destination computer. So this is how internally within the LAN communication is happening. Okay. Now, next scenario is a fourth computer from Hyderabad office. Fourth computer is trying to communicate with Bangalore office first computer. Let me repeat once again. Hyderabad office fourth computer want to communicate with Bangalore office first computer. So now here, which one is the source and which one is the destination? Fourth piece is a source, Hyderabad is source, and Bangalore first piece is what? Destination, right? So from here, now let me write source IP address is 192.168.1.40. Destination IP address 192.168.2.10. Destination IP is a 2.10 along with your data traffic information. So this IP packet is being from fourth computer is being generated. Before sending this data packet, what PC it will do? So PC itself will check now source IP or destination IP both are in same network or different network. Now you tell me guys, in this scenario, source IP, destination IP both are in same network or different network address? Different network address, right? Now what my PC will think, okay, now this data packet I need to send to outside. Like this data traffic I have to send to different network address, right? So to communicate for different network communication, now we require which device? Router. But where is router? How this machine can identify router? So where is the router in my network? How I can understand where is router? Right? So device and device can understand based upon what? IP address. So that IP of the router, IP address of the router. We have reserved one IP address, right? So in my network, I'm using 192.168.1.0. So what will be the first valid IP address? 1.1. Now I'm going to configure that is the router IP address is 192.168.1.1. So this IP address I'm going to tell to my computer. Like all my LAN computers, you want to go outside, go via this gateway. So this is your 192.168.1.1 is your exit point. So this is your exit address. This is what? Exit address. So this is your gateway. This is your way. We are defining 192.168.1.1 as a default gateway for both machine, third machine, second machine, and all devices in the LAN. In your LAN, how many devices are available? For all device, same address, right? The thing is, if you not configured gateway for your end devices, if you are not configured gateway, then what pieces will do? Sorry, traffic. I don't have any exit point. I'm dropping your packet. No communication. So the real time, so very make sure that when your PC is trying to communicate with a different network, your PC should be configured with what? Default gateway address. If your destination, if you are trying to communicate within a same network address, then gateway is not required. So when exactly default gateway will come in the picture? When your traffic is going for to communicate with a different logical network, then your PC must be configured with what? Default gateway address. Got it? Getting my point, all of you? Right, perfect. So now, can you read once again the last point what we had discussed? Someone is asked me the before slide, right? Now you can copy it. The IP of router is the default gateway for all devices in LAN. For all devices. How many devices in your LAN? All devices can be. is all about our first point. What is router? Now we got answers about router. It's a layer 3, it's internet working device, it's enable communication between two or more different logical networks. IP of the router is a default gateway for all devices in the LAN. These are all the points we can say. Finished? Right. Now, second point. Point number 2. Type of routers. So we have a knowledge about what is router. But now we'll see type of router. What type of routers we have in the market now? Actually, we have two types of routers. One is software based, and one more is hardware based. Software based and hardware based. So what is software router? The software router is nothing but Windows server. Can be 2012 server, or 2016 server, or 2019 server, like maybe 2008 server, any Windows server. Windows server also can act like a router, which can also enable communication between two different networks. Not only Windows server, in your company have a Linux server. It can be any flavor of the Linux, Ubuntu, CentOS. Like it can be any Red Hat. It can be any Linux server. Also can act like what router. So Linux server also can have a enable communication between two or more different networks. So these servers are we call software routers. The thing is, these routers are not a dedicated router. So these routers have only the communication. These routers only the can do what? What is the job of these routers? So these routers majorly what for what purpose Windows server is being designed? What is the main purpose Linux server is being designed? To maintain, to manage your office data, to manage your office users, like work group domains, domain to maintain the domains, right? Active directories, trust, forest maintenance. Yeah, exactly. Internal network, you can say simply. Internal network to maintain. We have the major function of what? Windows server and Linux server. But one of the options is what? Routing. One of the options is what? Routing. That we call software router. But traffic to go outside, when traffic is going outside, to find the best paths, to load balancing, to find the best routes, shortest routes, packet switch, packet forward, and routing algorithms. This all can have the mechanism called hardware-based routers. So hardware-based routers only we can say dedications of router. So hardware devices routers are designed for routing algorithm purpose. Okay. So type of routers are software and hardware. There are two types. Software routers are what guys? Windows Server and Linux Server. But hardware routers, D-Link router, HP router, Juniper, Maipu, many vendors. But in the international market, one of the top leading manufacturer company is a Cisco. Hardware routers, Cisco, Juniper, Multicom, HP, D-Link, Maipu, many more routers are available. Software-based routers are what? Microsoft Server and Linux. Copy it. Copy. Let me see functions of a router. Point number 3 is what, guys? Functions of a router. Functions of a router. Point number 1 is inter-network communication. Router will do what? Two or more different network communication. Next point is when traffic is going to outside, if you have the more than one path, what router will do? Find the shortest path, which is we call best path selection, which is routing protocols will do job, right? Yeah, we know about the 2 points clearly. Any doubts about the 2 points? Number of times we clearly discussed, right? Internet communication, best path selection. Okay, perfect. The coming next 2 points are very important also. It is packet switching and packet forwarding. I hope we have a good knowledge on what is packet. So just before clearly discussed, right? What is a packet? So packet contains what? Network header and place segment. And also have the knowledge on what is the network header contains. Source IP, destination IP. And we know about segment also. What is segment contains? We open the segment, transport header, and along with what? Data. Now we know about transport headers contain also port number. What router we're doing is packet switching and packet forwarding. Let me clearly discuss what is packet switching and packet forwarding. Generally, at your homes, you have this type of device, right? The Wi-Fi routers. Have you seen your homes? Same device, right? But vendor can be different vendor. TP-Link, D-Link, Linksys, Netgear, Airtel. So many is there, right? The same type of devices you are using, right? See, clearly it's showing here the one port is in a different color, right? So remaining generally all ports black colors and one of the port only can see in a yellow port, yellow color, right? Remaining color normal. What's the difference? Yellow one and remaining four ports. From outside, from where your internet cable is coming to, the internet cable is connected to your yellow cable, right? And from normal ports, your devices are connected. Your computers, your desktops are connected. So that yellow port we call WAN port. The remaining ports we call LAN ports. If you see in your router also, if you go closer, if you go to the closer, if you see the yellow port in the down, we clearly printed there are you have internet port or WAN port. The remaining all ports are LAN ports. Incoming and outgoing, instead of that, we can use the terminology called what? LAN and WAN port. LAN port and WAN port. Okay. This device generally we use, right? Here, end user devices connected to which ports? LAN ports. Okay. Now from ISP router. Now the cable is connected to which port of your dealing router? WAN port. Okay. Is your what about ISP side? Now ISP side also the device what? Router, right? An ISP customer to ISP cable, which port of the ISP router is connected? From ISP side also is connected to what? WAN port. Clear? Now my question is, I'm trying to access one of the internet server, web server called Facebook server. Here, service provider in the local. Let's say I'm using Hyderabad. I'm from Hyderabad. The local service provider, Act Corporation, ACT Broadband. So your ISP router is directly connected to Facebook server. If ISP router is directly connected to Google server, ISP router is directly connected to any other servers? No, right? Like between we have number of devices, number of routers, number of internet service providers are available. Like a local service provider to another service provider, like one more service provider, like one more internet routers, like number of devices are connected. So here service provider to another service provider, how they are connected? What is the ports? All are connected to what? WAN port to WAN port only. Act fiber ISP WAN port to another service provider. One more ISP WAN port. Again WAN port to WAN port here also. So finally they are connected with Facebook server. So this is the connectivity, right? Is it clear now? Are getting the point or not? Right. Now back to our main topic, functions of a router. What is the first point, guys? Internet communication means, so by using the Wi-Fi router only, you can communicate Facebook.com, Gmail.com, Yahoo.com, Twitter.com, YouTube.com, number of networks, right? From one network. Your network is 192.168.1.0 network, but you can able to communicate different networks. That type of communication we call what? Inter-network communication. So this is possibility happen with the help of which device? Router. Now point number two. Point number two is a from your local service provider to reach Facebook server. Do you think we have only one route? Only one path? No, we have what? Multiple paths, right? Like out of multiple paths, how we can find the best path? So which device can find the best route? Again, router will do the job. Routing protocols will come in the picture. So that we call what? Best path selection. Now, third point number three is very important, guys. See here. Now, first computer is trying to communicate with a Facebook server. First computer is a source. Facebook server is what? Destination. From first computer, data traffic is being generated. Now, this data traffic first will come to which port of the dealing router? Your data packet is coming to which type of port is a LAN port. Your piece come to LAN port, right? Now, what LAN port will do? What the traffic is came from user, your LAN port, the data packet will send to which port, guys? WAN port. This process we call packet switching. Packet switch. This data packet is being switched from LAN port to WAN port. So sending IP traffic from LAN port to WAN or one port to another port. So this process we call what, guys? Packet switching. Okay, after packet switching, now what your router WAN port will do? Your router WAN port is directly connected to Facebook server? No. The WAN port will send to which port? ISP router. Your D-Link router sending traffic to ISP router means so sending traffic from one router to another router. So this function we call packet forwarding. So packet switching means one interface to another interface. I mean one port to another port, sending the traffic. Then what is packet forwarding? From one router to another router. Okay. Now WAN port is received. Then what WAN port will do? Switch to another WAN port. Now what another WAN port will do? Now one ISP to another ISP, packet forward, again switch, again forward, again switch, again forward. So now you tell me, guys, like how exactly source device and Facebook device, how they are communicating, what was the function happening here? Like entire routing can done based on what? Packet switching and packet forwarding. Like in this network topology, any one of the interface is not packet switching, any one of the route is not packet forwarding. Can you communicate? Then as a network engineer, what is our roles and responsibilities is we always keep monitoring your LAN port is packet switching or not, your WAN port is not packet forwarding or not. If LAN and WAN is not packet switching and not packet forwarding, why packet is not switching? Any problem, port problem or IP problem or configuration problem? What is the problem? What are the issues we have actually? That we need to solve the network engineer. If any WAN port is not forwarding, like forwarding to ISP, like what was the problem? WAN IP address problem, or link is being failed, any issues happening. But you have to, as network engineer, we have to make sure your destination and your router should be function always for packet switching and packet forwarding. So this is a majorly functions of router, first 4 points. Clear, guys? So can you repeat once again, what is packet switching? You tell me please, what is the packet switching? Okay, let me repeat once again. Packet switching. Generally, traffic from your PC, right? Traffic is being generated. Your PC is connected to which port? LAN port. Now, LAN port is sending to traffic to which port? WAN port. This process we call what? Packet switching. Means internally within the router, what is the happening? LAN to LAN or WAN to WAN, whatever. Inside the internally within the router is a packet switching. One router, another route is a packet forwarding. Single statement. Within the router, LAN to LAN or WAN to WAN, whatever, within the router is what? Packet switching. Router to router is what? Packet forwarding. Clear, Minas? Now let's see. Next point is types of router. We already discussed or not about this point? We discussed? Yes or no? See, we already discussed about the point is what? Type of routers, not types of routers. Type of routers are software and hardware. Here is what? Types of routers. To avoid the confusion, let me make clear. Cisco router types. This is the fourth point. Point number one is what? Cisco router types. So Cisco router types are, so basically have a two types of Cisco routers. One is fixed router. One more is a modular router. The name itself is saying is what? Fixed router means router is fixed. Modular router means a router can be modified. Let me briefly discuss about what is the major difference between fixed router and modular router. The last scenario, two routers. What are the two routers? Software and hardware router. Software router is just a router function like enable communication. One connected to the LAN and one connect the another one's what? Are you telling is about this diagram? This is our customer side. This is our office, your home network, your office network, right? This is ISP, service provider side. Right. Let me continue with the fixed router and modular router. The first one is example. This one is a let's consider is a fixed router. Let's say this is our modular router. Fixed router, LAN port, and modular router, LAN port. Fixed router, LAN port. No, fixed router's LAN port type. So fixed router LAN port type we called AUI, attachment unit interface. So this port we have a 15 pin port. It seems like by physically, if you look on it, it looks like a VGA port. A computer's backside can have a VGA port, right? It looks like that actually, not exactly like that, but similarly like this actually. Right? AUI port, 15 pin port. You know what? This pin can support only 10 Mbps speed. So from this port, router LAN port to your network, which is switch and switch to all end user devices. This is the connectivity of fixed router. So means maximum within your LAN, how much speed you can get, guys? What is your router LAN port speed? Maximum speed is what? 10 Mbps only. Your speed is fixed. We cannot upgrade. We cannot change it. So always you can get maximum is what? 10 Mbps only. Even if you want to change your network speed, even if you want to upgrade your router, is not at all possible because you are using which router here? Fixed router, your speed is fixed. But in case of modular router LAN port types are NIC. It is not a AUI port. It's not AUI, it is a network interface card, NIC cards. Now, NIC cards are available in a multiple speeds, right? Like Ethernet card, fast Ethernet card, gigabit Ethernet cards. So Ethernet can support 10 Mbps, fast Ethernet 100 Mbps, gigabit card can support what 1000 Mbps. So based upon our requirement, we can upgrade, we can change, we can modify it. If already have a Ethernet port, remove it. Change as a fast Ethernet. If it's a fast Ethernet, remove it. Change as a gigabit Ethernet. So we can do some modifications. So these are possible in a which type of router, guys? Modular router only. But fixed router, the speed is been fixed. The LAN port is AUI port, attachment unit interface. This is the first difference between fixed router and modular router. And second difference is for fixed routers, WAN ports. WAN port 1 and WAN port 2. For fixed routers, maximum WAN ports are we can have only two WAN ports. Two WAN ports. WAN port 1 and WAN port 2. WAN ports are nothing but serial ports. So by using fixed router, how many branches we can connect? From WAN port 1, branch office 1. For WAN port 2, branch office 2. Max we can connect how many branches? Say 2 branches. But India wide, worldwide have a number of branches. Can you connect with? Can you use a fixed router, guys? Not possible. So fixed routers with only what? Maximum is what we have only 2 WAN ports. In case of modular router, we can add more WAN ports. WAN port 1, WAN port 2, WAN port 3, WAN port 4, WAN port 5, WAN port 6. How many WAN ports you need? We can add more one. Any one of the WAN ports, let's say WAN port 1 is not working properly. So don't change your entire router. What we'll do? So just remove your WAN port 1, throw it out and purchase one new one and I can add it once again now. So that is the option is available in a modular routers. Means empty slots are available in modular router, but in the fixed router, no slots. To add or to remove, there is no slots. Like all the ports are what? Attached. There is no slots actually attached, right? Integrated to motherboard. Finally, guys, this is the best one. Fixed router, modular router. Modular router, right? Even the complete fixed routers are being outdated in the market. Yeah, even wireless access points we have a fixed ports are well, fixed routers are what? Outdated. So we used to work in the real time now what? Based on what? Modular router only. The single point, the single statement, what is the difference between fixed router and modular router is everyone you can copy it. Fixed routers are non-upgradable. Modular routers are upgradable based on our requirement. I repeat, fixed routers are non-upgradable. Modular routers are upgradable based on our requirement.
One question.
Can you hear me?
Now we can sir. One question, sir.
Right. So this is a major difference between fixed router and modular router. Yes, guys. See your screen now. Showing you one diagram, right, on the picture. Can you find out this router is a fixed router or modular router? Perfect. How we can say it's a fixed router, guys? Only two serial ports and only AV ports, right? That's it. Very perfect. Very good. Very good. Ports are attached and there is no more slots also. Right? So this AUI port is a LAN port. So this port can support on maximum is what? 10 Mbps speed. And the both one serial 0 and serial 1, these ports are WAN ports, two WAN ports, one for branch 1, one for branch 2 only. Even these ports we call admin ports to configure router initially. When you purchased a brand new router, so we don't get any configuration files, right, inside the router, even no IP address, no passwords, no configuration. So when the router is a brand new, we used to configure with the help of admin ports. So these admin ports for what? Initial configuration purpose. So these devices are completely outdated, no market also now, no manufacturing also. Next type of routers are what? Modular routers. You can see here, these slots can be removable, right? If it's not working, can remove it, can replace with another one. Even the plate here showing here, right? This is a plate, we can remove it, you can add more also here. This is modular router. If the port is a 10 Mbps, we can change into what? 100 Mbps. Next, next point is point number 5 is a Cisco router category. So today we are complete session only about routers. Okay, what is router? Type of routers, functions of router. What is packet switching? What is packet forwarding? And Cisco router types, fixed router, modular router. How can I identify it? And now we're going to discuss about Cisco router categories and Cisco router internal components, external components, like all about routers only today. Complete session is only for what? Routers. You know why? So if have a good knowledge about routers, then only we can work with the routing and routing technologies, right? So without these details, if you go to configuration of router, no use of it. So first we need a clear picture about router components, all the functions of router. Okay, let me continue. Cisco router category. So what are the categories of router Cisco router means? You know, Cisco is a international leading manufacturing company, right? So what almost 99% complete networking, all IT companies are going to follow Cisco instructions, Cisco scenarios. So Cisco is telling is what we have a different type of categories of routers. So to understand Cisco router categories, uh, let let you me answer one question in India. In banking sector, which is the largest bank? SBI. So overall, the India, how many branches are available? Approximately More than 4K. More than 14K. Okay. Right. Let's take one value, 15K branches in overall India wide. So where is all the branches are being connected, banks are being connected, are placed? Where? In only one city, or only one town, or only one district? No, overall India, right? So means we have rural areas, urban areas, cities, towns, metropolitan cities, like all, each and every way we have, everywhere we have a banks. Like, have you visited any a rural area bank? Visited computer one, computer two, computer three, computer four. Very few customers are connected. Four computers are connected to switch, and one printer is connected to switch. Maybe one Xerox machine is connected to switch. Maybe one scanner is connected to switch. Right? And this bank surveillance purpose, like one, C1, C2, C3, the cameras. All cameras are connected to one device called DVR. From DVR, one cable is connected to switch. Yeah, exactly. ATM machine, ATM is connected to your network. So hardly, like roughly, overall, how many devices are connected in rural area bank? 30 to 40 devices. Let's consider 30 to 40 devices, right? So this rural area bank also connected to 15K branches, right? This bank is also connected to what? 15K branch. Means for rural area bank also we required router or not? Router is required. Just one example. Now if we go for urban areas, urban area bank, the district headquarters. We are building a complete one floor. One floor is a bank in different cabins, different counters, 5 counters, 6 counters, like accounts counters, like a sales counters, like some different counters, right? Maybe hardly can say here like 100 to 150 devices, including your routers, servers, cameras, ATMs, all those things, 100 to 150 devices. So this also connected to 50K branches by using what? Router. For rural area bank, we require router. For urban area banks also required what? Router. Right? If we go for main branch office, head office, the Mumbai, complete bank, complete your building is a bank, right? Very big building. Number of floors, number of campus, like number of devices, all are connected to 15K branches. So for main head office, your Mumbai office also required what? Router. Which type of router is required? So for rural area, router is required. For urban area, router is required. For main office, router is required. Now, if you go for any one service provider, like let's say service provider is a Airtel service provider. For Airtel service provider, how many customers are connected? Lakhs of people is connected, right? So to provide the network service for Airtel service products required what? Router. So everywhere router is required. So generally in your homes, your smartphone, your laptop, your TV, some devices. How many devices? 5 to 10 devices. This also connect internet means you require router here also for home-based routers, like small office routers, and rural areas routers, like your urban area, like your main office and service providers. Everywhere we require what? Routers. But what Cisco is telling is that we have a categories is available. Based on your requirement, we have a different categories. But Cisco will not provide home-based routers. Cisco will not provide what? Home-based routers actually. For home-based routers, we have our D-Link routers. Some other companies is available, but Cisco directly will not release home-based routers. It's completely commercial, like high-end routers only is being manufactured. So what Cisco is telling is that, okay, your requirement is a branch office. We have one type of category called branch routers. Here, urban area, you have a head office. Yeah, we have one category of router called network edge routers, aggregation routers. Okay, your service provider, we have one type of other routers, which is ISP routers. Really, Cisco router categories are three categories: branch routers, network edge and aggregation routers, service provider routers. But recently, Cisco is also come to manufacture for Soho devices. Small office, home office. Small office and home office routers also is being manufacturing nowadays. Soho, small office, home office. Let me visit our Cisco websites once, then you can get a clarity about this. See here, routers, all routers products, data centers and industrial purpose routers, integrated service routers, ISR routers, mobile internet routers, network function virtual routers, service provider core routers, edge routers, small business routers. Next, see WAN aggregation and edge routers. Well, Cisco Nexus categories. If we go with the categories, you can see here the first one is governance, branch, WAN aggregation, edge router, service provider router, and industrial routers, virtual router, small office, SOHO. We call this one right. Small business, small office, home office routers. So each category we have different series. ISR 4000, ISR 1000, ISR 9000 series. These all are updated routers. ISR 900 series, the branch office, the new one, latest one. And Meraki, MX Meraki is also the latest release actually. NCS 5000, 5500, 1000, 9000 series. These are different categories of Cisco branch office, network edge. Routers used by small office organization and branch office. Router series models. 800 series, 900, like all of it. Look like network edge routers. Where is network edge routers? Routers that are used at large organizations, campus and head office. Series is 1000 series, 5000 series, and 5500 series. Okay. Cisco ASR, ASP routers, 6000 series and 9000 series. Here, guys. Now we continue with internal components of a router. Point number 6 is what? Oh, sorry, external components, right? External components. So first, let me discuss clearly about external components of a router. Router externally, what type of components, each component function, how to connect it, what is the connectivity type, where we use these external components of router, we clearly discuss it. One of the series, let me take example, which is 2800 router. 2800 series. This is a front side and view of the device. And this is back side of the device. The front side of the device, we can have a Cisco series, Cisco 2800 series or 2900. So which type of series we have, right? And the brand symbol, brand logo, Cisco systems are really dealing our and some.
Sir, one question.
Yeah, service providers who are using Airtel, BSNL, like any service providers are using ISP routers, service provider category routers. Even we are getting internet from those routers only, not directly. ISP router to ISP switches to nearest to your home. Nearest to your home, we have one connector like Mux is the and Mux to which can switch to your home. The same routers. Right. These are the two views, front view and back view. The front view we can get what Cisco series and Cisco logo and some admin ports and the USB ports and the flash cards and power on and off. So this is not a standard method for all routers. This is a method for what? 2800 series. Maybe some other different series. The power switch can be have a backside also. And admin ports can be have a back view also. The flash card internal inside of the ports also. Right? So this is the standard for what? 2800 series routers. You can get like this. This is the interface of router. Interface is nothing but ports. Physical ports. Right? So what are the ports we have in the router? For any router, it can be branch router, network edge router, ISP router. Mostly, majorly, we have three type of ports. One is a LAN, WAN, admin. These are the common ports for external components. LAN ports, WAN ports, admin ports, or we can call LAN interface, WAN interface, and admin interface. Let me take a look over it. Fast Ethernet ports or Ethernet ports or gigabit Ethernet ports is all are comes under LAN ports. I repeat, Ethernet or fast Ethernet or gigabit Ethernet. So this all comes under which type of categories of ports is a LAN port. Serial ports or WAN ports. Console port, auxiliary port, these ports are admin port. Power switch, 0 indicates off, 1 indicates on, and power cord connection. Your normal home power is being connected to. So this we have a SMPS and clearly printed how much power supply have to give to power connections. Clearly printed on your router by seeing the how many volts a voltage can support it. You can see that. I repeat once again. A router with any type of ports can be Ethernet port, or it can be fast Ethernet ports, or it can be gigabit ports. So this all comes under LAN ports. We call it as what? LAN interfaces. Serial ports. No, it is not a fixed port. It is not a fixed router, right? So fixed routers we have what? AUI port, right? But here you're getting what? Fast Ethernet ports means is a modular router. So fast Ethernet. How many fast Ethernet ports are available here, guys? How many fast Ethernet ports is it? 2 ports. Means each port can support how much speed? Perfect. 100 Mbps. Fast Ethernet is what? Up to 100 Mbps port can support. Like any one of the ports, one of the cable is connected to your switch. And switch to end user devices. Right? There you can use the first port also, there you can use a second port, or you can use the 2 ports also, no problem at all. If you use the 2 port addresses, if you are using only 1 port means only what is the IP have assigned for this port, that port is a gateway for your LAN devices. 1000 Mbps is a gigabit port. So these ports are LAN ports. No, that is not a maximum. See, LAN ports are Ethernet, fast Ethernet, gigabit Ethernet, 10 gig, 20 gigabit Ethernet, 30 gigabit Ethernet, 40 gigabit Ethernet. So based upon the model numbers, we have very high speed ports are available. If you take any ISP router, Cisco 8000 series router, or ASR 9000 series router, if you click on it, you have features of service provider routers, like how much speed can support it. With the line cards supporting how much speed, guys? Can you see here? 400 GBE, 400 gigabit Ethernet ports. Very high speed. If you look over here, these are 9901 up to 800 Gbps. Terabytes also can support TBs up to 80 TB, up to 160 TBps. Very high-end core devices actually. Line cards, 4 line cards, 5 fiber cards. So each device can have a like a 50 lakhs and 80 lakhs rupees, like 1 crore, 1.5 crore rupees of orders. Yeah, there are a lot of customers is there. Lot of customers is there. Mostly even all service providers using ASR routers only. Even all IT companies, if you go for the banking sectors, even I used to work in the banking actually. Banking sectors means Zoom technology. We have a customers service. We used to provide the service for banking sectors and police department, which is communication department. We used to go there, If we have any problem, we used to go there and we'll troubleshoot. They're using this here series. Right. So serial ports are WAN ports, and fast connect ports are LAN ports. Here picture here showing FE0/1, FE0/0. If you zoom your screen, you can get clearly on it. Picture FE. What do you mean by FE? Fast Ethernet. And 0/0, 0/1 means port numbers. 0/0 is the first port, 0/1 is a second port. So each port can support 100 Mbps. Routers has RJ45 ports to connect way to way. Router to LAN means router LAN port to LAN is nothing but what? Switch. All are types of RJ45 ports. Means Ethernet ports. Ethernet, fast Ethernet, gigabit Ethernet is my only small example, but I have shown in the website, right? Cisco website. 10 gig, 20 gig, 100 gig, Tbps, 80. Like this. Next, WAN ports, serial ports. So serial ports used for what purpose is a WAN connectivity where your ISP cables are connected from outside. So here we have a two types of WAN ports. One is a normal serial female connector and a smart serial 26 pin female connector. So 60 pin we call normal serial port and smart serial cards are 26 pin. So what is the major difference between normal serial port and smart serial port is a see the diagram what I'm drawing here, my marker. This one I'm marking. So this slot is a normal serial slot. Second one I'm again marking. The second one is a smart serial slot. We call what? Slot. So here the difference is in normal serial slot, we have a only one port, right? This is 60 pin port. Means can connect to only one branch. Branch office one is connected. So for complete one slot, how many branches are connected? Only one branch, right? But if I take a normal serial slot, for normal serial slot, how many ports are available here? 26 pin one port on one more 26 pin. So here serial port number 0, serial port number 1. Means you can connect branch office 1, branch office 2. So one slot can be connected to how many branches? 2 branches are connected. I got the point? So if I use a normal serial slot, I can connect only one branch, right? But instead of a normal serial slot, if I use smart serial slot, for one slot, I can have a how many ports is here? 2 ports. Here, serial 0, 1 port. Serial 1, another port. 2 ports are available. Zoom in here. Is the point. First slot, only one port. The pins are 60 pins. The port is only one port, right? One branch is connected. But second slot, 2 ports is it. Port number 1, port number 0. 2 ports. 2 branches you can connect. The major difference. But we have one more type of serial port which we call HWIC, high speed WAN interface card. So here, high speed WAN interface card for one slot. How many ports is it? 1, 2, 3, 4 ports. But normal serial for one slot have only one port. For smart serial for one slot, 2 ports is there. But HWIC cards for one slot, how many ports is guys? high-speed WAN interface. Provide connectivity to what? Wide area network. Console port. Here we use console port. The console port for local administrative port or 45 port. It is used for initial configuration and troubleshooting purpose. So something is going down of a router. The router is already existing in a network. Maybe route is fails, or maybe route type is being removed by someone. For troubleshooting purpose, we use what? Console port. So when a brand new router, for first time configuration of router, we can configure router through a port is what? Console. Out of all ports in the router, this most important port is a console port. If anyone have a access for the console port, that person have a full control of the router. Is the admin of the router, can simply can say. Let's say you are a network engineer in your so on ABC company. You got access for console. Now you are a network administrator for this router. Full control of the router, right? So the reason, the real time, there is no access for console port except the main administrator. Console port is very important port on the router. This port always should be very high secure. If any one person have a access for console ports, he is the hero of the router. It is most important and sensitive port of the router. So sensitive port means like if you multiple times you keep plug in and plug out cable inside and out, inside and out. Number of times we do, the hardware of inside that hardware like plates and pins will go damaged. And, it won't work. The reason we call it is a sensitive. Once if you cable in connected, don't remove and add multiple times. You keep on insert and remove, insert and remove means what will get damaged. Okay? So your laptop or your computer from console port to your PC's connectivity, that cable we call console cable. So this port which is connected to network admin PC, but network admin should be in your local only. If network administrator in a some different location, remote location, a network administrator in a Bangalore, but your router is in a Hyderabad. So from Bangalore, you want to connect the Hyderabad office. And how? The console port is only support for where? The local network administrator, local PC. For remote administrator, we use one more type of port is what? Auxiliary port. RDP is a protocol. RDP is a protocol actually, right? But connectivity, it is auxiliary port. So auxiliary port for what? Remote administrator. Console port for local administrator, right? Now the connectivity is a auxiliary port to dial-up modem. Dial-up modem to internet. Internet to remote administrator. So what network administrator will do? Remote administrator, they connect to internet, internet to dial-up modem to they can access what? Access port of the router. But thing is nowadays dial-up modems are outdated. We don't use dial-up modems, right? The reason we don't use much about auxiliary port also. Then how network administrator can log in remotely? Nowadays we have one service called telnet, or we can use both all comes under remote login protocol. So for remote login purpose, we use now what? Telnet either. Yeah, we don't use Oxley port. Finally, how many types of what type of ports are available in the router? LAN, WAN, and admin. LAN port types: Ethernet, fast Ethernet, gigabit Ethernet, 10 gig, 20 gig, 40 gig, 80 gig. These all are LAN ports. WAN port types: normal serial, smart serial, high speed WAN interface cards. These all are WAN ports. Admin port types: console and auxiliary. Console for local administrator, auxiliary port for what? Remote administrator, right? LAN and LAN interface, WAN interface, admin. Clear all of you? Right. This is all about external components of router. Now let me discuss about internal components of router. Inside the router, what type of components are available? Internal components of router. Just 5 minutes more, we'll discuss about internal components and we'll close the session for today. Point number 7, internal components of a router. So we have just discussed about only still now 6 points. What is router? Types of router, functions of router, Cisco router types, categories of Cisco router, external components has been finished. Now let me continue for internal components. All of you open your chart box. Ask me about internal components of your PC. If you answer, now I'll explain about internal components of router. Motherboard, CPU, ROM, 9IC, hard disk. NIC is internal or external? NIC is a what? Component. I'm asking about internal components. The first one is what? Motherboard. Okay. All right. Processor. Okay. RAM, HDD, is hard disk, right? ROM and SMPS. These all are PC internal components, right? Now let me take a look about router internal components. Before that, let me explain what is the use of PC motherboards. Why motherboard is required? Your processor is connected to motherboard, RAM is connected to motherboard, hard disk connected to motherboard, ROM is connected to motherboard, SMP is connected to motherboard, mouse is connected to motherboard, your keyboard is connected to motherboard, your printer is connected to motherboard, your IC card. Like all hardware components are integrated to one centralized board called motherboard, right? Similarly, router Right. Can you hear me, guys, now? Yeah, from my side, have some Wi-Fi router has been suddenly rebooted.